y'all, it's Heel Heat time.
Hi everybody and welcome to Heel Heat. My name is George Coles, and on this episode we're going to be reviewing New Japan Pro Wrestling Fighting Spirit Unleashed. And it's coming from the Walter Pyramid in Long Beach, California. So it had a normal start time for us American viewers. I didn't have to be up at 5 or 3 or 4 in the morning to watch the show. Very happy about that. Let's jump right into it. The first match of the night, we have Jyushin Thunder Liger, ACH, and Ryusuke Taguchi representing Taguchi Japan versus Sho and Yo, Roppongi 3K, and Rocky Romero. Thought this was a good opening match. This is pretty much standard fare for what New Japan does for their openers. They like to put out guys that, might not necessarily have anything else to do on the card. And I like this. It's a good way to get Liger in front of American crowd for people that want to see him. Plus you get other guys, Roppongi 3K, Rocky Romero, Taguchi, ACH. All guys that American crowds want to see wrestle. So this was a good way to start the show. A nice, fast-paced match. The Liger, ACH, and Taguchi team win. I'm going to give this match a 3 out of 5, 5 being the best. I thought it was good. Like I said, it was a nice opener. It was a good way to start a show about what I would expect from a New Japan show. Now the next match we have The Addiction, Frankie, Kazarian, and Christopher Daniels versus 2 members of the Bullet Club Elite, Chase Owens and Hangman Adam Page. I thought this was a really good tag team match as well. I thought this match was actually better than the Addiction's match from the Ring of Honor pay-per-view 2 nights ago. So, I don't know, like I said when I covered that, and you could go check out my review on that, the crowd being dead, I wonder how much it affected them. And these guys were wrestling 3 nights in a row because they did that, then they did a Ring of Honor TV taping, and now this. To me, this would be the match that would suffer out of the 3, not the first one. So, I think the crowd had a lot more bearing on that. This match was absolutely fantastic. I actually liked it a lot. I thought they did well. I thought you made the team of Owens and Page seem a little bit more legitimate. Maybe they're going to be one of the teams representing the Bullet Club, or the team representing the Bullet Club Elite going into the World Tag League. I expect, them, maybe the Bucks, also from the Bullet Club Firing Squad, Tama Tonga and Tangaroa on that end. So, expect we're going to see a lot of tag teams being pushed to the forefront just because we're about to come up on World Tag League. The Addiction pick up the win here. Another good match to start the show with, 2 in a row. I'm going to give this one again a 3 out of 5. I thought it was good. It's what you would expect from a second match of the night. They didn't go too crazy. They left meat on the bone for other matches to follow. However, they kept your interest in the show. Now next up, we have a 6-man tag match. We have Jeff Cobb, Chris Sabin, and Flip Gordon versus Hirooki Goto, Trent Beretta, and Chuckie T, the Best Friends. So first off, if you haven't watched this show, this is all a spoiler. If you didn't get the spoilers from the Ring of Honor TV tapings, I'm going to say a spoiler in 3, 2, 1. First off, they spoil a Ring of Honor television title change. Jeff Cobb comes to the ring with the ROH TV title, which hasn't aired on Ring of Honor television, which is kind of a weird thing. I know that most people that watch Ring of Honor, and a lot of people that watch Ring of Honor, already know that this has happened. But I'm from the era that if the title change hasn't happened on TV, and we'll talk about something later that also kind of got spoiled by the Ring of Honor tapings. If the title match didn't happen on TV yet, I don't think you should acknowledge it on a live show. And I'm just being nitpicky, I guess. It's more of my old school mentality, but I thought it was a little weird that they would do that. This was another really good match so far, the best match of the night in my opinion. What's to say about Jeff Cobb? He's absolutely one of the best wrestlers in the world right now. Chris Sabin, Flip Gordon are really good. The Best Friends are a great tag team. Yet another tag team I expect to be in the World Tag League. And Hirooki Goto, I've mentioned it several times on my New Japan shows. Hirooki Goto is one of those guys. There's a few guys in New Japan Pro Wrestling that I think are criminally underrated and underused. He's one. Taguchi is another one. And to an extent, Will Ospreay and Ishii, even though we see them in big matches during the show, also fit that role. There's some guys on that card that and I know it's a logjam. There's a lot of super talented guys, but to me, they're kind of guys that get lost in the shuffle and don't get talked about as much as the others, but they're absolutely fantastic themselves. The team of Cobb, Sabin, and Gordon pick up the win. Like I said, this was my favorite match of the night so far. I'm going to give this one a 4 out of 5. It was really good, really fun match, really interesting to see how these guys all interacted with each other. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Now next up, we have representing Los Ingobernables de Japon, Tetsuya, Naito, Sanada, and Evil versus representing Suzuki-gun, Killer Elite Squad of Davey Boy Smith Jr. and Lance Archer, as well as Zack Sabre Jr., 2 juniors in this match. This again was another really good match. The matches started off hot. It was fun. The show was fun. The crowd was into it. I like this. I like the low-key feud going on between Suzuki-gun and LIJ. I think it's kind of bubbling under the surface. It's not one that they're promoting to the top, like the feud within Chaos or the feud within the Bullet Club. But it's one of those things that's keeping interest on the shows on the lower card, keeping guys like Zack Sabre Jr. and Naito, who should be in the world title hunt, giving them something to do so it's not obvious that they're just not in the title hunt right now. I really enjoyed this match. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. The LIJ team picks up the win. I thought it was good. Like I said, so far, everything was good for the show. Nothing's really flying off of the page, but everything was solid. This is how I would build a show. You don't want to put out your burners early on. You want to keep them for the end of the night, but you want to keep good, solid matches so you can build to the better matches, which we'll get to that in a moment when I get there. Next up, we have Tanahashi and Kushida versus Jay White and Gedo. This match, I liked it, and don't get me wrong, I just feel that they probably should have went with a Tanahashi versus Jay White, and I have a sneaky suspicion that that's going to be a main event or on their next big show, which comes up in about a week here. It's slipping me. I can't, for whatever reason, I don't remember the name of the show, but in about a little bit over a week, they have another big show, which, again, we're going to talk about a little bit later as well. And I think they're going to save the singles match for that. They could have hot-shotted it here and got the Jay White-Tanahashi thing out of the way so we could build to Jay White versus Kazuchika Okada. I liked this tag match. I thought it was good. We got to see at the end where Gedo used the brass knucks. Jay White picks up the pin. I'm going to give this a 3. I thought it was good. The crowd was hot. They hated Jay White and Gedo. So obviously this heel turn, or more of a heel turn, has really done what it's supposed to do, at least with the American audience. It hasn't played out in Japan as of yet, so I'll be interested to see the reactions they get in Japan, and if they're as negative as they were here, which is exactly what they want. Like I said, I'm going to give this match a 3 out of 5. I thought it was good again. Another match that's building for the rest of the card. And then we go to our 15-minute break, which we'll talk about that. Being at a live show, these 15-minute breaks are amazing, especially in a longer show, 3 to 4 hour show, as we commonly see out of New Japan. But being at home watching it, they could have put some highlight packages on there, some upcoming show hype, some interviews maybe, while, the crowd there got a break. It just felt like 15 minutes I was sitting there watching chairs, which is really weird. But, again, I'm being a little bit nitpicky. The break is for the people in the crowd, and they absolutely would need it in a show of this length. I think it's one of the things that burns wrestling fans of the WWE out when we see these SummerSlam and WrestleMania shows that are 5-6 hours long, and there's no break in between. There's no pause. You just have to sit there and suffer through it, and the crowd suffers by the end. I like that for the crowd being there live. For the people at home watching, it doesn't come over well on the TV. But anyway, I digress. Coming back from break, we have the second semifinal match. Kushida already won his match in an earlier show. We have Will Ospreay versus the villain Marty Scurll. The winner will face Kushida to become the new IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship, or Junior Heavyweight Champion. I loved this match. I thought it was really good. To me, it's one of the better matches of the night. Probably, this and the main event to me are the two best matches of the night, and I'm just maybe 10-15 minutes after the show I'm recording this, so with them both fresh in the mind, it's hard to say which one I like better. I'm leaning towards this better, but they're both really good. That's what I'm going to say. It's heavily mentioned on commentary how Ospreay can't win over Scurll, and Scurll is his nemesis. So I really thought they were going to play up that Ospreay finally gets a win over him in a singles match, but he didn't. Marty picked up the win, which is kind of nice, because if this was boxing or MMA or football or baseball, if you had one team or one guy that couldn't beat another, they wouldn't automatically beat that other team because the commentators were talking about it. So it gives it more of a sport feel. It gives us more, when Ospreay finally does get that win over Marty, that it'll be a bigger deal. I'm going to give this match a 5 out of 5. Like I said, it's one of my two favorite matches of the night. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Will Ospreay, between the match with Jay Lethal on the Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor show and this show, put on two of the three best matches of the weekend, and I really, really thought he stood out here. Him and Marty both. I thought they had excellent chemistry with each other. I thought they put on a great match. Now, next up, we have the Bullet Club Civil War, representing the Bullet Club Elite, the Young Bucks, defending their IWGP Tag Team Championship against the Gorillas of Destiny, Tongaroa and Tama Tonga. This is a good match. This is actually about what I expected from this match. I kind of felt where it was going. They went back to Matt Jackson having, still going through some back issues, which kind of feels like they're going back a bit instead of moving forward with that. But I digress. It did not. It helped the match. It helped what we seen. We seen the bigger team be a little bit more physical. We seen Matt take a bump spot. We seen the Gorillas come to the ring accompanied by their father Haku, which I kind of thought he would play into the end, but he didn't. This was just a legit regular match. There was one great spot where the Bucks are going for the Meltzer driver, and Tama Tonga stops it to hit the gun stun, which was a fantastic way to do it. I know that the meme is for Randy Orton out of nowhere, but he really hit that out of nowhere. A lot of false finishes, a lot of teasing finishes, not necessarily false ones. The Gorillas pick up the win with what I would say is basically a 3D. They didn't, the commentators didn't sell it as such, but I thought it was really cool. I thought with them using the gun, with Tama using the gun stun so much, having a 3D type finisher, which it didn't look as clean and crisp as the Dudleys do, but when your standard is the Dudley Boys, it's going to be hard to top that. I did like it. I think it's a homage. I believe both of these guys trained under the Dudley Boys, so it's a homage to their trainers. This is about what I expected. I expect the Bullet Club firing squad to get some wins over the Bullet Club Elite. I don't think this is going to be an even feud. And this is an easy tag team, this is an easy belt to change and put on them to make them more decorated as a team. I mean, we're not going to see them take the belt off of Kenny Omega, at least not until Wrestle Kingdom. So where else are we going to go before this match? And this was the other title that the Bullet Club Elite had going into the show. So makes a lot of sense to me. I thought it was good. I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. I thought it was really good. I liked it a lot. I liked the way the two match with each other, and I'll be really excited to see the rematch. Now, next up, we have for the United States Championship, Juice Robinson defending against the NWA World Champion, Cody. I like this match a lot. I like how it is, and I kind of feel like New Japan kind of went back a few months with their booking, because Cody worked this match more of a heel. We've seen since the Bullet Club split, Cody's been more of a face and more online with what the Bullet Club Elite is doing, which they're mostly the faces in their matches. We see him extensively use Brandy as a distraction, get her involved in the match. She rakes Juice's eyes at one point. And the commentary, specifically Kevin Kelly, who is the main New Japan commentator, is talking about Cody like he is a stone cold heel, which you gotta imagine he's got notes to say, hey, Cody's a heel, or Cody's no longer a heel, play him up as such. So to me, I don't understand why his character regressed a bit. Maybe it has something to do with what we're going to talk about later. But he does pick up the win in a way. They both roll each other up and Cody's shoulders are off the mat. So it played out well how he did it. So now Cody is the IWGP US Heavyweight Champion, the NWA World Champion, and 1/3 of the Ring of Honor 6-man Tag Team Champions, which means that he has a belt, a big title, in each or 3 of the major companies in the world, which is amazing. That's really cool to see him do that. I'm a big Cody Rhodes fan, so to see him have the success he's having, it just reinforces the fact that if you believe in yourself, bet on yourself, and go out there and do it. I'm giving this match a 5 out of 5. Even though the booking was a little bit odd, the two of them together, I like them. I like their match in the G1 that they wrestled with each other. Or actually, it wasn't the G1, but their recent match that they wrestled each other. And I liked the other match, Cody's first match in Japan against Juice, I thought was really good. So, to me, I liked it. I kind of wish Juice had a longer U.S. title run. But I could see where it was starting to fall flat a bit and they wanted to get some more star power on the belt. Especially with Chris Jericho not being there to defend the U.S. or Intercontinental title as much. I understand why they would put this on a guy like Cody, who is an international star more so than Juice is. Next up, we have the main event of the evening, representing Chaos, Kazuchika Okada and Tomohiro Ishii, versus Kota Ibushi and Kenny Omega, the Golden Lovers, representing the Elite, the Bullet Club Elite, Golden Elite, whatever you want to call them. I loved this match. I thought it was really good, with there being no stakes on the line, with no real feud going forward, other than the fact that Ishii defeated Omega in the G1 and Okada and Omega's long-standing rivalry. I like this match. I kind of feel that Kota Ibushi got lost a bit in the match, but it didn't take away too much. The story, I felt the story of the match was more Kenny and the Chaos guys, with Kota coming in and out of it more as, I don't know if it's subtle foreshadowing, but I think we're starting to see where Kenny Omega, in the beginning, in the whole Golden Lover storyline's been great, where he felt inferior to Ibushi, but then he felt like he finally made it to Ibushi's level, and I think they're subtly showing us that he's risen above Ibushi's level, and kind of in the way they worked it. I mean, I might be just reading a little bit more into this than what they want to. It may have just be that Ibushi had some jet lag, so you let Kenny Omega do the majority of the work. That being said, I thought the match was fantastic. I like all four of these guys. This is four top-tier talents. Ishii, along with what I said about Hirooki Goto, he's one of those guys as well. I think that New Japan could be using in a main event spot and even a potential IWGP champion down the road. The Golden Lovers pick up the win in the match. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. Like I said, it's between this and the junior semifinal match. These are my two favorite matches of the night. I thought it was really good. I thought the last four matches coming out of break were all great to excellent. We had one match that was a 4 and 3 5s, whereas the beginning of the show was mostly 3s and 1 4 mixed in. So, like I said earlier, when the way they built the show is how I would have built a show. Is you start getting more and more traction, and your better matches end up close out the show. Afterwards, we see the Bullet Club Elite come into the ring. Kenny Omega addresses the fans, talks about let's give them the match that they want to see, and talks to Kota Ibushi, saying let's do this. Before Kota could say yes or no, Cody Rhodes comes into the ring and interjects himself and says, hey, how about instead of that, we make this a 3-way? To which they all agree. They agree as friends, although I don't know if they're foreshadowing Cody fully turning heel and either leaving the Bullet Club or joining the Bullet Club firing squad or whatever they're trying to foreshadow with that. I believe we're going to get Cody versus Ibushi at Wrestle Kingdom. I think that's what they're going to go with. And the funny thing is, he called himself Cody Rhodes, which is weird. They're going to have this 3-way match. I believe the show's called King of Wrestling. I'm probably wrong on that. First, I don't know why it's rather late here in the East Coast of America, so my mind is slipping me what the name of the actual next show is. But I'm gonna put the graphic right there. So that's the name of the show, even though I don't really know what it is. But that's where they're gonna have the 3-way, which I thought was an awesome build for that. All in all, I thought this was a rather good show. I liked it a lot. I liked a lot of the matches were really good. I'm going to give the show itself a 4 out of 5. I thought it was rather good. The only thing that are negative, and they're very minute, the long break for a TV watcher, they have to find something to fill that. The commentary was good. Jim Ross and Kevin Kelly were good together. I do feel like even this far into Jim Ross, it's been 2-3 years that he's been calling New Japan shows. I feel like he's not 100% familiar with the product. And he's not as immersed as Kevin Kelly is, where Kevin Kelly knows everybody, every angle. Jim Ross seems to rely on, if he doesn't know somebody or he's not familiar with what they're doing, comparing them to other people that he knows. Which I know he does somewhat for the Access Television people that are just tuning in and seeing New Japan for the first time. He does that to like say, okay, you see this guy, he's kind of like this other guy that you already know. I get that, but to me he leans on that crutch a little too much, so it took a little bit out of it. Other than that, the American shows, and I feel like the more we get, the less of a prominence they're having. And that's not a negative. It doesn't. This wasn't a bad match card, but we didn't see a world title match. We've seen 2 championships change hands, which is good. We didn't see an Intercontinental title match, which, we could have had. So, it doesn't hold as much prominence as, like, Dominion would, or Destruction in Kobe, or Destruction in Hiroshima. But I think we're starting to get where they're settling in America, and they're giving us the New Japan product in America. Instead of loading the card, they're giving us a card they would normally give in Japan. With all that being said, like I said, I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. I thought it was rather enjoyable all the way through. All that being said, this has been my review of Fighting Spirit Unleashed from New Japan Pro Wrestling. I'm going to edit this and go to bed. With that, I bid you adieu, goodbye, and good night.